Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Today, loosely another episode in our wide world of food.
If you say so.
Now I can't tell you if they eat spaghetti like this in Germany, but today's recipe is called German spaghetti. Now, I saw this recipe online in an article, and I'll tell you, normally I see something like that, and I'm like, ooh, that's great. I can take that recipe and put a Galley of the Sun twist to it. Maybe it's some different ingredients, maybe it's a different technique, whatever, cooking on the smoker instead of the oven, whatever. But really, all of us took a look at that recipe and thought, you know what? It looks pretty damn good like it is. So that's how I'm doing it. What I've already done is I have fried up a pound of bacon. I'll leave the recipe like it is. It's down below. It tells you to cut the bacon up and then fry it. I think it's easier to do it this way, so I did it that way. So, behind me I have a skillet with some bacon grease in it. We're about to add some bratwursts and some onions to it. So I took a sweet onion and I finely diced it because really thinking about it, in my spaghetti, I don't want big pieces of onion, I just want the flavor. Now recently, we did some Greek spaghetti and it came out amazing, so that's what made me, when I read that article, think, this is going to work for us. So let's get over to the stove and do it. All right, so we got our grease left over from the bacon. I drained a bit of it. Didn't need all of that, but we definitely want some of that flavor. Now again, the recipe says cut your bratwursts up and then cook them in here. I'll tell you what, it's hard to cut them when they are still like this. Now you could take them and freeze them for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then slice them up nice, but then you got to overcome that heat that you lost, right? Seems inefficient to me, so we're going to cook them like this, get them about 50%, then I'm going to cut them into bite-sized chunks and put them back in here. But into the bacon grease on medium-high heat goes my brats and my onions. I'm not going to say a whole lot of amounts today because I'm doubling this recipe because of the supplies I have, but as always, loyal viewers, down below in the description section are the ingredients, their amounts, and the directions. So we're going to cook those onions till they're good and translucent, and the bratwursts, again, as I said, got to get them partially cooked, get them cut into bite-sized pieces, and put them back in there and get them cooked the rest of the way. Also on my middle burner here, I am heating up the salted water for the spaghetti. All right, the sausages cook long enough to where I trust their structural integrity, so I'm going to start pulling those out one by one, getting them chopped into bits and back in. Now that the sausages are cut up and I like how my onions are looking, in goes the mushrooms. Sliced baby Bella mushrooms. Don't settle for those button mushrooms. They don't have much flavor. These do. All right, I'm going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to add I'm going to add the beer. I'm adding twice as much as the recipe says, but get yourself a good German beer, like Hefeweizen.
What?
Hefeweizen. I have language coaches behind the camera helping me out here. Hefeweizen.
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 There you go.
Get a German beer. Use it. So I'm going to pour that in there, get all the fond off the bottom of the pan, and let that cook until it reduces down to about 1/4 cup. Well, actually, in my case, I'm doing double, so 1/2 cup. As my beer and sausage and onions are simmering in that beer, I'm not going to say it again because I can't freaking pronounce it.
It's a good plan.
I'm going to chop up the pound of bacon that I cooked right before I started this episode. Oop, I said an amount. Remember, I'm doubling this recipe. And it was a package of bacon. A package of bacon is 1 serving.
Damn right.
So it doesn't matter how big the package is. You just cook it all.
He speaks the truth.
All right, we'll see in a little bit once that is simmered down and my spaghetti's cooking for the final few things to do. That was eloquent. That's how I roll. All right, the pasta's done. Now for the last couple steps. I'm going to melt my butter in here and then whisk in my flour and whisk it for about 2 minutes.
Make it so.
The bratwurst and onions and mushrooms and beer is still simmering away over here. Good to go. I did reserve some of the pasta water in case my sauce is too thick, but I think we'll be fine. But we're ready in case.
Clever. Devilishly clever.
Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, why don't you hit that subscribe button and become a sunscriber? And when you're at it, hit that like button and leave us a comment. Have you ever made German spaghetti before? What's your favorite German dish? Where are you watching from? All of those would make great comments. Or just a simple yum.
Yummy.
Now I'm going to slowly incorporate my moo juice to the roux. Maybe we'll incorporate some of it to the stove and the counter too. Who knows? Oh, you know. We'll continue to stir that for a bit till it thickens back up. Now we're going to add in our stone ground mustard. Doesn't matter what temperature it is, it doesn't have to be stone cold.
Silly.
Now we'll mix in our cheddar cheese. And keep whisking that until it's all incorporated. I'm lowering the heat on our beer and mushrooms, brats and onions. I can smell that the milk that I spilled has made it to the burner. It's going to be good cleaning. All right, going to take this off the heat. Bring it over here. Add the apple cider vinegar and a good couple pinches of salt and pepper. Get that all mixed together. Then we're going to add this to our brat mixture. Along with our sour cream, and we'll mix all this together. If you get the feeling that it's too thick, remember you do have that reserved pasta water to add if you need to. But I think we're going to be just fine. All right, that's pretty incorporated. Now the bacon goes back in. I do the idiot check of my kitchen to verify that everything that I laid out has been used, and it has. That's good news. All right, now in goes our pasta. And somehow carefully I'm going to mix that in without spilling this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Really, this is my biggest pot, my biggest skillet. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, I have a disaster here. We're going to transfer it into a big bowl because the director just told me to do that. The YouTuber in me really thought that this was going to make a beautiful thumbnail of all of this in the skillet. Huh.
Idiot.
Alrighty, this has been a little bit chaotic, so I still have a bunch of stuff out, but it is time for judgment from the director. Okay, my goal is that this is the best German spaghetti you've ever had.
Your goal was met.
Good, good. Now, is it worth a damn?
It's actually very good.
Good. What's the, it's got the beer in there, it's got the bratwurst, it's got the mustard. What taste is jumping out at you? And the cheese?
Actually, the beer.
The beer, okay.
The beer and the brats. I like it.
Okay, there you go. We've pleased the director until she sees what a freaking mess I made of the kitchen, but that's okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.